Hello YouTube. This is in my series on growing, gathering, and purchasing our wild plants for medicinal purposes. Now I've done my intro part on concentrating on what you want to focus on for your healing, for your health. Now, for those of you who can go out and gather your own herbs, you're going to need some tools to do that. And I've laid out the tools that I normally keep in the back of my car or I carry with me when I go out to gather plants. Now, I keep stuff in the back of my vehicles all the time because I never know when I'm going to be pulled down a different country road than I normally go, or when I'm at my sister's house and I need to dig something up, or when I'm down on the family farm and I need to dig something up. So I keep a market bag with me, and I keep one of the plastic ones, one of the vinyl ones, because you don't want a cloth one that could get wet and muddy and dirty. I keep a trowel with me. I keep the brown paper bags with me in the back of the vehicle. Those are really the best for putting seed heads in because the plastic tends to create a staticky surface, and it's hard to get your seed head out later. And it's also better for leaves and things because it starts a drying process. And then I keep my clippers in the car, and then I keep one of my books that has photos in it, and that one also has what some of the plants can be used for. So when you're gathering, you need to be careful where you gather. When you're traveling down roads, now I don't frown upon gathering down roads for seed head, but digging up plants, it becomes very risky because you don't know what has been sprayed or what has been spilled, and it certainly doesn't take into consideration the exhaust from vehicles. So that's one of those things that's pretty risky. So be careful along roadsides. Also, when you're out in fields, if it's not your property, it's really hard to know what has been dumped or what has been sprayed or what is down in the soil. These chemicals that are sprayed on farms these days, I'm just going to put this out there. There is no such thing as gluten allergies. It's actually a glyphosate allergy. And that is the chemical that is sprayed on fields now and around fields made by Monsanto. And every farmer uses them now. If we think about it historically, there were never gluten allergies in the past when people ate wheat products. Never, ever, ever. This is an occurrence that has happened since the 80s. That is when Monsanto and the agribusiness really took off. So the studies are out there. Just Google glyphosate and you'll see what it causes. Now, when you're out gathering plants, the live plants, and you're digging them up, Make sure to get as much of the root as possible, and of course don't damage the plant, but shake off as much dirt as possible. Now the reason for this is because of hitchhikers. Mold, mildew, any insects or bacteria, you don't want that coming into your yard with your plant. Also, in Middle Tennessee, we have a terrible fire ant population. That's why I very hesitantly gather anything from the family farm anymore, because we have a terrible problem with fire ants down on the family farm now. And when you are gathering seed head, make sure that you're not gathering all of the seed head in an area. Sometimes you get excited and you find a stand of plants and they're all going into seed, and you want to gather as much of it as you can. Well, only gather 10%. You want enough to leave that stand to be able to repopulate that area. And that is the same with gathering the plants. You want to leave enough for that to be able to be repopulated, because it's very easy for an area to get unpopulated. Often you can gather from several locations, and you don't have to hit one location very hard. You need to also be aware of the environment that you are gathering your plant from and the seeds. And when you bring it back into your yard, you need to place that plant or seeds in an environment that is similar to where you got the original from, because it's not going to flourish if you take a plant that's growing in the middle of an open, sunny pasture and you put it under a maple tree that has heavy, dense shade and a dense root system where the plant can't put down good roots. Well, you're not going to get that plant thriving, and it may even die. So you've wasted your efforts. Now that I'm going over my notes, making sure I have covered it all. Also, when you bring your plants back, rinse them just with a hose outside of your house. Now, the reason I'm saying this is from what I've learned. You often get little bitty spiders, little bitty hitchhikers that have come along. Now, those may or may not be good or beneficial, but you do need to rinse your plants off. You don't want to be bringing in any seed from poison ivy, from poison oak. You need to make sure that you're getting good, clean plants. And when you're rinsing, make sure that you're rinsing in an area that you can keep an eye on in case you do have any hitchhikers that pop up. Okay, so now that we've talked about gathering, the next thing we're going to talk about in the next part of the series is growing. So, goodbye for now, YouTube.